We're back. We're back. And we're talking about patterns again, okay? Patterns. Okay. If I had the pattern, so we're going to talk about charts yet. If I had the pattern 2, 4, 6, 8. What is the rule for this pattern? Well, this one increases by 2. This one increases by 2. And this one increases by 2. So the rule is add 2. But this rule could apply to other numbers too. If we were to have started at 1 and we increased it by 2, that would be 3. From 3 is 5. And then from 5 is 7. Okay, so we don't have to start with this, but this is another pattern. And we can represent this by using a table. A table that is an input label and an output label. And what this is going to show is that if you input a certain number, let's say 1, and we have this rule right here, add 2, the output we'll get will be 3. And if you input another number, 2, and we have the rule add 2, then the output would be 4. I think you can see where I'm going with this. Okay? Is that you do the rule for the number you use. It's just like continuing the sequence. We continue the sequence, we go to 3, and we use the rule. 3 plus 2 is 5. And then we go to 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. And you can see that we keep continuing the pattern. Okay? We input a number, and then we use the rule on the output. We can do the same thing if let's say we had a rule of 2 times a number. Like, let's say we started with 5, then we went to 10, and then it went to 20, then it went to 40, right? This would be 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 10 is 20. 2 times 20 is 40. So if we made an input and output table, and we made an input and output table of this, and we were to input 5, let's say, we use the rule for this one, which is multiply by 2. We use the rule for this pattern, multiply by 2. 2 times 5 would be 10. That would be the output. And then if we use 7, let's say, it's another random number, and we use this rule on 7. 7 times 2 is 14. And then let's use another random number, let's say 9. 2 times 9 is 18, and etc., etc. We use the pattern for the rule, and you can see that it's working. 5 times 2 is 10. 7 times 2 is 14. And this holds the same pattern. We look at this, we can see that there's clearly a pattern of multiplying by 2 between these. And this is clearly a pattern of adding 2 to get the output. We can do the same thing with a pattern that uses division. We could say 16 and then 18, 4, 2. This rule would be to divide by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So if we were to make an input and output table, an input and output table, and we were to use this rule on this input and output table to find a pattern, and we use, let's say, 32. We started with 32. 32 divided by 2 is 16. And then let's say we use 34. 34 divided by 2 is 17. And then we use 36. 36 divided by 32 divided by 2 is 18. So we use the rule on the input so we can get an output. That's how we use input and output tables on rules for patterns. Yeah, so try it at home and say in school.